Welcome to this 5-minute policy brief on the university's guidelines and protocols for critical positions. In the past, this has also been referred to as essential personnel. As you know, Harvard operates 24 hours per day, 7 days per week, 365 days a year. However, there may be times, due to an emergency or catastrophic event, that the university may decide to curtail operations or close. During this time, department managers are responsible for determining the critical functions that must continue during the curtailment or closure. This presentation will summarize some of the key aspects of this policy. To understand this policy, you first need to understand some of the key definitions. Emergency closure. This is defined as a university-wide decision to curtail operations or close due to inclement weather, natural or man-made disasters, communicable disease outbreak, or any other unforeseen circumstance. Critical function. This is a function that needs to continue during the curtailment or closure to maintain or protect the health, safety, or physical well-being of the university's students, faculty, and staff, as well as the continuation of critical administrative functions, academic mission, and protection of facilities and assets. Critical position. This is a position that has been designated as critical because its responsibilities include non-deferrable services that must be performed despite the emergency curtailment or closure. The determination of a position as critical may be seasonal, as in the case of personnel who are needed to remove snow, or situational, as in the case of personnel needed to deal with a health crisis. Depending on the type of work a critical position performs, the employee may be required to report to campus to his or her normal work location in order to perform his or her critical function, such as in the case of an employee who works in facilities to remove snow. This is considered an on-campus critical position. The other type is remote access critical position, where the employee can perform his or her critical functions from home or some other off-campus location, such as in the case of a database administrator or a payroll administrator. And finally, a standby position is a position that is not designated as critical and as such not required to work during the closure or curtailment. In the past, this is referred to as non-essential personnel. It should be noted that standby positions can become critical positions if the functional needs change during the emergency curtailment or closure. In this section, we will summarize some of the key responsibilities of managers and those in critical positions as it relates to this policy. For managers, on a regular basis, along with their employees, they should define, document emergency management and business continuity plans that describe the non-deferrable work that must be completed during an emergency closure or curtailment. Managers should plan and provide flexible work arrangements as needed for their staff during emergency closure or curtailment. Managers should work with their local IT group to ensure employees in a remote access critical position have the appropriate access and technology to perform their job from a remote location. Managers should communicate and implement emergency directives from university administrators and public and/or medical officials. And finally, managers and/or department local HR offices should provide time reporting guidance to non-exempt staff on how to report their time during the emergency curtailment or closure. Now let's review some of the key critical position responsibilities. First, those designated in critical positions must be prepared to work unscheduled shifts, reschedule vacation leave, and/or work more than their regular scheduled hours during an emergency curtailment or closure. They should provide updated emergency contact information and enroll in Harvard's Message Me. They should discuss with their manager alternative work arrangements such as working from home or other remote location during an emergency. And finally, they should understand work assignments that must be completed during the closure or curtailment. Both managers and critical position employees should download the PDF policy document that is available on the Harvey website for the complete listing of their responsibilities, as well as information on employee compensation and links to additional resources related to this policy. As with all university policies, please defer to your local school or unit in the practical application of these guidelines. Thank you for viewing this presentation.